The night sky over Crimea erupted in flames. For 24 straight hours, the peninsula, once considered Russia's most fortified stronghold, became the center of chaos. Ukrainian drones, missiles, and electronic warfare units launched a relentless siege that shattered the illusion of Russian control. It wasn't just another strike. It was a message. The war had entered a new phase, and no place was safe. It began just before midnight. The first wave of drones crossed the Black Sea, flying low over the water to evade radar. Russian air defenses detected movement, but too late. Explosions lit up Sevastopol's naval base, shaking the ground and sending shockwaves across the coastline. Within minutes, alarms blared in every district. The 24-hour siege had begun. Witnesses described the sky as alive with light. Dozens of glowing dots zigzagged above, dodging tracer fire from Russian anti-air systems. The sound of machine guns echoed across the city as Pantsir and S-400 systems opened fire. But for every drone destroyed, 2 more appeared from the shadows of the sea. It was a rain of steel, a second storm after months of tension. By dawn, the first reports confirmed direct hits on radar facilities, ammunition depots, and communication centers. Flames rose high into the sky, visible from miles away. Russian emergency units scrambled to contain the fires, but the strikes kept coming. Unlike previous raids, this one was organized, synchronized, and endless. Ukrainian command had calculated every move, launching waves from multiple fronts: sea, air, and even decoy signals from electronic warfare, units that jammed Russian radar. Civilians in Crimea hid in basements as debris rained down. Videos from the ground showed explosions lighting up the horizon, one after another, like lightning over a burning sea. By mid-morning, the second wave of drones arrived, smaller, faster, and deadlier. They targeted military vehicles and airfields. Russian helicopters scrambled to intercept them, firing flares into the sky, but many failed to connect. One drone managed to strike a fuel storage site, sending a massive fireball into the air that burned for hours. As the siege continued, Russian state media went silent. Officials denied large-scale damage, but social media told another story: videos of burning ships, destroyed radar towers, and soldiers evacuating bases. Independent monitors confirmed at least 7 major military sites had been hit within the first 12 hours. The once secure naval hub of Sevastopol was now under siege from machines small enough to fit in a car trunk. By noon, Ukrainian intelligence announced that Phase 2 of the drone operation had begun. Dozens more UAV were launched from multiple fronts, accompanied by long-range Storm Shadow missiles fired from aircraft deep inside Ukrainian territory. The missiles streaked across the sky, leaving glowing trails before slamming into targets along the coast. Russian radar stations tried to lock on, but interference from electronic jammers created chaos in the defense network. Throughout the day, communication lines failed. Power grids went offline. Explosions echoed through military airfields, and panic spread among troops. Russian commanders reportedly moved equipment deeper inland, fearing further attacks. For the first time since the annexation of Crimea, Moscow's control over the peninsula looked fragile. By afternoon, Ukrainian officials still refused to claim direct responsibility. A spokesperson simply said, "Crimea is part of Ukraine, and Ukraine will act accordingly." The statement went viral, echoed across global news outlets. Analysts called it psychological warfare, a strike designed not just to destroy, but to humiliate. In the evening, satellite imagery revealed the scale of the destruction. Black smoke rising from multiple coordinates, charred remains of vehicles and radar towers scattered across the landscape. Even Russian civilians began posting pleas online, asking when the attacks would stop. But there was no stopping. The operation had been designed to last 24 hours, a full day of uninterrupted assault. As night returned, a third and final wave approached. Hundreds of drones filled the darkness once more, their faint hum blending with the crackle of burning fuel. Russian anti-air defenses fired relentlessly, The sky turned into a battlefield tracer, rounds, flares, and explosions painting a scene out of apocalypse. Witnesses described the sound as like thunder that never ends. In Sevastopol harbor, Russian sailors fought fires aboard 2 damaged ships. Nearby, warehouses continued to burn. Emergency teams worked in near-total blackout conditions. Some Russian sources reported friendly fire incidents, air defenses, accidentally shooting at their own units in the chaos of radar jamming. By midnight, the siege had lasted a full 24 hours. Ukraine had done what once seemed impossible, striking deep into Russian occupied territory for an entire day without being stopped. Military analysts worldwide called it a turning point. The drones had proven what missiles could not, that technology, coordination, and persistence could overwhelm even the most advanced defense systems. The next morning, smoke still hung over Crimea. The silence was eerie. The once busy naval base of Sevastopol was now a landscape of twisted metal and blackened ground. Reporters described it as a graveyard of machines. Russian officials admitted minor damage, but satellite images contradicted them. Air defense sites, hangars, and fuel depots were gone. In Kiev, Ukrainian officials watched the footage with quiet satisfaction. "This is only the beginning," one advisor said. "Every inch of occupied land will remember who it belongs to." His words spread like wildfire across social media. The operation became a symbol of Ukraine's resilience and technological evolution, the rise of drone warfare as the new power of the battlefield. Across Europe, military observers studied the attack, calling it a blueprint for future wars. Dozens of drones working in coordination, supported by jamming, decoys, and timed missile strikes, an unstoppable storm that rendered traditional defenses obsolete. The message was clear. The future of warfare had arrived, and it came from Ukraine. As night fell again, Crimean residents looked to the sky in fear. They didn't know if the second drone rain would return, or if the silence meant the worst was yet to come. Russia moved reinforcements into the peninsula, deploying new radar systems and additional ships, but morale was low. The once confident fortress of Crimea now stood shaken, its defenses exposed. In a single day, Ukraine had rewritten the map of the war. The 24-hour siege of Crimea wasn't just a military strike, it was a statement. Power no longer belonged to whoever had the biggest army, but to whoever could adapt the fastest. Drones had become the new artillery, and the battlefield had no borders. When the fires finally died down, the world realized something deeper. The war was no longer confined to front lines. It was spreading through technology, intelligence, and precision. The second drone rain was just the beginning, and the storm ahead would change everything.